Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm not going to stutter and say Zach.
No, there you go. And today we are going to talk about our top 5 bourbons from Kentucky.
Yeah, so if you guys have been watching, any other YouTube channel, really, there's a bunch of them that have been doing it. But the Whiskey Van had this great idea to talk about their favorite whiskeys from their state. So they're actually from Oregon. So they talked about all of theirs. And I think Bourbon Junkies talked about Michigan. And Bourbon Ranch talked about Arkansas. And there's a bunch of other ones out there that are all kind of talking about their favorites. Right. So they're going to put them all into a big playlist. And they're going to talk about it. Now with us, he lives in Kentucky and I live in Indiana. So, you, the fans, you all reached out to them actually about us. And then you all reached out to us about it. And we're like, sure, we'll do videos over it. Because what's crazy is nobody's done Kentucky yet. Which, there's not too many channels that are in Kentucky. But, Kentucky's the easiest and the hardest one to do at the same time.
It really is.
Yeah,
you start to... he called me and he goes, all right, give me your top 5 distilleries. And I'm like...
He named 7.
I was like, all right, I guess we'll go with this. And then we made a list, and then I put one in the list
that I
didn't even say.
Now, it was going to be my number. It was going to be one of I was going to put in there no matter what. So as he's sitting there, we're splitting up the distilleries, and he's like, I want this one in there. I'm like, you didn't even say that first time around. I know, but I want it now. So it's a blessing and a curse.
I knew he was going to say it. That's why I didn't say it in my initial. But then I was like, I know we're going to have some overlap, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to say it in this one. So
and these basically how we're going to talk about it. There's kind of some rules, but kind of not some rules from what I can tell.
Loose rules.
We're going to talk about our 5 favorite distilleries and then some of our favorite bottles that we like from those distilleries. Some of them, yes, are going to be rare. Some of them, yes, are going to be every day.
It is
and one of them's going to be really unique. So, but it is gettable.
There it is.
But yeah, let's go ahead and start.
All right.
So our number 1 on our list, maybe number 1 in my heart, it's going to be Old Forester. And it's going to be President's Choice for me. So whenever we are talking about, I almost put 1920 on there just because it is honestly one of my favorite bottles out there. But if I'm going to talk about Old Forester, I want to talk about President's Choice.
President's Choice.
And it gives me an excuse to drink President's Choice.
The truth is, President's Choice is the answer to all things. I think Old Forester, but
unless it's an employee bottle.
Which hopefully sometime soon, knock on wood, we'll get to drink some of that.
Now, with that being said, yes, I know it's incredibly hard to find. It's incredibly rare. It's supposed to be like that. It is released only at the distillery, except for, they do have a big national lottery that they do where you can actually drive in and get one and so on and so forth. Met a bunch of people from doing that. All around the country got it. It's kind of a cool idea in that sense of that. But for me, if I'm picking Old Forester as one of my top 5 favorite distilleries, it's going to be President's Choice all day long.
And I probably would have chosen President's Choice too, but I'll let Zach choose President's Choice. So I went with the secondary one, which is the 117 series. The High Angel Share is by far my favorite of all of those. Batch 1 is my favorite of all of them. But they're all decent and good in their own right. But that's why I chose the 117, just because he chose President's Choice.
But the 117 series, they've crushed it.
Yeah, they have crushed it.
They have really legitimately crushed it with the 117 series. The Jackie's Icon line, basically. It is. And
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it really is. So.
Yeah, for sure. Number 2 on the list, and these aren't actually in any order. We're just going down a list. Number 2 on the list is Wild Turkey. And between the two of us, I think we took care of the 2 staples in that realm.
Could have won a lot of options.
We could have won a lot of options. My unicorn, if you've watched the show at all, my unicorn is the Russell Reserve 13. I still have not found that unicorn anywhere, but that's okay. So my second and a staple for me is the Russell's Reserve 10-year, and it's just so good. If you don't have it in your repertoire, you should. Just a really good drinker, and then he's got the rare breed.
Yeah, rare breed. It's one of our It's one of the daily drinkers that I keep as long as I
Yeah.
have the glass for it.
Yes.
You know, there was that glass shortage there where we ran out, but now
The-
they're back.
The last time I bought it, it was still limit 1.
Yeah,
So it was allocated for a little bit.
it's gonna be a hard day
Yeah.
if those start becoming allocated.
Yeah.
But you know, Rare Breed to me, it's one of the best bottles on the market. And you know, I almost wanted to put like a Master's Keep because I love the Master's Keep collection.
Oh,
Russell's
yeah.
13 are amazing. You know, even like the little one-offs, like the father and son or a 13-year.
There's
like,
so much good.
There's a lot of
Wild
great
Turkey.
stuff
Yeah.
from Wild Turkey. Even just Russell Single Barrel. You know, the 110 proof ones. If it's not even a store pick, it's just the normal one. Like there's so much great. There's so much great value just in Russell's
Yes.
and Wild Turkey
Just so
and all
much.
of it. So.
Yep. There you go.
All right, third one on our list. And I think this is maybe one of Dave's personal favorites.
It is.
Four Roses.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about the barrel strengths. Now, for us, we're very fortunate with Lawrenceburg and the bottling plant in Cox's Creek to where they do release a lot
That's
of these.
15 minutes from my house.
Yeah, he's really close. But let me say this. For me being where I'm at in southern Indiana, as long as I go whenever I hear about the release, I'm honestly able to snag one.
Yes.
So it's whenever they
release one, they release
the whole barrel.
A pretty good, yeah.
So and that's for both at Four Roses and at the bottling plant.
Yeah.
And like we're just very fortunate. We're able to get these. This is an OES. Both these are OESOs, I think, right here. And we kind of have like this ongoing like talk about a big project we're gonna do with Four Roses where we do a big.
We
try to do a big thing with it.
Yeah.
But honestly,
because I think it deserves it.
It does. And these are, for us in our area, these are such great values.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the best values in our entire area in Kentucky that nobody really kind of like talks about or really emphasizes on, just because
$77 right here.
Yeah, well, I think they've even went up a little bit, but even then, I mean, these things like on national, they're just going nuts, and they're really, really great. We see all 10 recipes pretty periodically. We're just lucky.
Four Roses is the place, man.
Four Roses, and it's also very much a sleeper distillery to where we always talk about their LEs, and we give credit for the barrel strengths because we know how great they are. But it kind of, I don't want to say it takes a back seat, but we don't give it the credit that they deserve. You point that out more than anybody.
Even their standard lineup is good.
Oh yeah, no,
so
solid.
You're just not going to go wrong with Four Roses.
Totally great. All right, so fourth on our list.
On our list is Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill. I mean, it's hard to go with just one bottle from Heaven Hill because they have a massive line. A massive line of selections. He went with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and I kind of knew he was going to go with that.
It is one of my regular drinkers.
Yeah, and it's one of the best drinkers out there for the price. Even with us not liking or loving last year's, I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
It was still, the value's still there, and the availability
really
of finding something that's allocated like that is still there. Me, I went with a little bit of a different route. Now, I'm showing you this bottle here. This is the Heaven Hill bottling experience,
which is super cool.
It's amazing. Yeah. And whenever they are going with 4 bottles, they offered this, which is basically a William Heavenly Hill. And you can get an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, or you can pick from Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, a Larceny Barrel Proof, and a Bernheim. We don't want to talk about that one. But the best Elijah Craig, I'm just saying, I don't want to talk about that one. The best barrel proof, best Elijah Craig Barrel Proof I've had, honestly, since maybe the C 2017 or the C 2019 has been from the bottling around.
The bottling, yeah.
Those things are such incredible hitters. And there was one of them, I think I went with my friend Josh and Brian one time, where I was like, I like the Elijah Craig barrel proof one, but I'm getting this because these are typically the more rare to hard, they're only going to have so many barrels, maybe like 10.
Once they run out of this, they run out of it.
They're out, but they'll always have the Elijah Craig, but they're picking those honey barrels from that experience. So that's why, for me, I went with that. It's maybe a little bit cheating, but, I did what I did.
Yeah. And I'm not feeling bad for it.
I'm not feeling bad for it.
Number 5 on our list is Buffalo Trace. And if you think Heaven Hill has a lot,
there's Buffalo Trace.
I mean, Buffalo Trace just has a ton. And a matter of fact, I'm sipping on the single barrel as we speak because that is my go-to, the one that I love. Like if I'm just being honest, for Buffalo Trace, I can get my hands on this easier than I can get my hands on this.
You're not wrong now.
And so like I like this. This became my choice just because I like it. It was between that and the small batch I was gonna choose. But I like the single barrel better than the small batch. Some people like the small batch better than the single barrel.
Me.
He actually, when we did the review, he had that as his favorite over the single barrel. So, but hands down, this is still value to product #1 in all of bourbon.
So I know what you're getting ready to say. You went with Buffalo Trace. That's such a tater thing to do, or like, you know, or all of their stuff's allocated from Buffalo Trace. It basically all is at this point. Like, unless you're getting Wheatley vodka or whatever, like it basically like all is. And I get it. Yeah. But whenever we went with this list, I told Dave, I said, I don't want to pick an order, and I want to pick what we drink the most of.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, we pick a lot of Buffalo, or we drink a lot of Buffalo Trace.
We do.
Like it, you know, it just is what it is. I mean, we're not complaining about it. Yeah, we can be frustrated over the amount of allocation, how people go crazy for it, but it's still really good stuff at the end of the day.
Right.
And, you know, Stag Junior is my pick. Sure. You know, we could talk about the BTAC line or whatever else.
Stag Junior's always going to be his pick.
But I've been a big fan of Stag Junior since, honestly, day one. Stag Junior is one of the reasons why I got into bourbon.
Yep.
Like how I did. And it's just, to me, it's just one of my favorite, if not, like, it's up there in my favorites.
For sure.
So, but anyway, so this is our list. And before anybody says it, let me just say it. We went chalk. Like, we didn't sit there and pick a craft distillery. We talked about it. We've talked about Limestone.
Yeah.
Talked about Boone County.
Because we both love Yellowstone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we didn't, like, I mentioned that to him, and we ended up not going with it just because.
I love those kind of places. And Michter's was another one we talked about. Love Michter's a lot. But we went with stuff that we drink a lot of. Like, and that's just because we thought that would be the best part of the list. So, but anyways, in the comments below, go ahead and let us know what you think our top 5 bourbons,
what are your top 5 in
whiskeys,
Kentucky?
Distilleries, whatever else. And if we missed anything, let us know.
Yep, for sure. Well, till the next time, we'll see you.
See you.
All right.